Hi, and welcome to the All Things ITSM Global Podcast. We're coming to you from BMC Engage in Las Vegas. I'm Kirsty McGowan, and I'm here with Charlie Betts.
Kirsty.
Carlos Casanova.
Kirsty.
And now we're talking with Marty Pitkanen from BMC.
Thanks,
Hi,
Kirsty.
Marty. Welcome.
Well, welcome, Marty. So, Marty, my understanding is that you spend a lot of time and have spent a lot of time in the performance assurance space. And as a society, as an end user of a variety of just online tools, just at home for your personal pleasure, we expect things to just be there, right? And we don't, as end users, I mean, we're in technology, so we understand it, but as end users, we just expect things to just always be there when we want them and almost predictive in terms of how it is. We don't care about that performance. We just want it to happen. So working in this space as long as you have and with the experience that you have in this space, can you speak to a little bit how how the tools and technology are enabling that end user experience that we already expect?
Definitely. So what's interesting right now is the performance and availability market has really changed, and that comes along with that user expectation. So if you look at the past, a while back when I was with BMC early on, it really was, okay, monitoring was it. And monitoring was cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what people were starting to do. But as time has evolved, it's almost become, as they say, table stakes. In fact, at some point, I've heard somebody call it the dirty M word, right? Because, I mean, everybody has monitoring. It's a commodity.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think that that's the reality. So what's happened recently, probably more than 10 years, but really ramped up in my mind in the past 3 or 4 years, is this explosion of digital services. Mm-hmm. So if you think about what we all do today, I pick up the phone, and at this point, it used to be you pick up the phone and you would look at email and you would look at Facebook and you look at Twitter, and that hasn't changed. But now what we do, at least what I do, I buy my groceries on the phone and they bring them to me, right? I go shopping at one of these shopping places, I won't give the name, but discount, right? And so I've got so many minutes to get something into my cart. And so when I have a few moments, that's how I do my shopping, right? Amazon, Christmas time. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but lightning deals. Yeah. And you're constantly refreshing, trying to hit that deal.
Yeah.
So what's happened to all of us is we're so used to this instant feedback, and you're right, you don't think about availability, you just expect it to be there. So performance has almost become availability. Right. And how do you get to that performance? So one thing we've done with BMC is we've started to evolve. We've started to change it, and we look at this and we go, okay, up, down, that's important. Mm-hmm. You still got to have it. But what is it beyond just the up and down? Right? What are my end users experiencing? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. And we've all heard this crazy APM term, application performance monitoring. Mm-hmm. The reality is I need to know what my end user is experiencing, and I need to pull that in to what I'm finding out on the infrastructure side too, and start to connect the dots. Right. So one thing we've done at BMC is we've connected the dots with our operations management solution. So we've taken it from what you might consider more of an industrialized IT monitoring level, which definitely important, but we're allowing our customers to innovate and support these crazy fast digital services with the end user experience. And then the other piece of it that people don't think about is capacity. And you may go, oh, well, Marty, capacity, you just throw more servers at it, right?
Sure, what's wrong with another hard drive?
Sure. But half the time it's not the hard drive that's the problem. Right. So what's become important, I mean, Carlos, think about it. If you rolled out a service and it took off like wildfire, you may all of a sudden find yourself in a situation where your website can't handle it because it doesn't have the right processing power, and you're going to be throwing servers at it thinking, oh, that's going to fix it. Mm-hmm. But
not necessarily.
Not necessarily, exactly. No, so what we have is capacity. Folks who do capacity planning, really intelligent. It's like this lost art. There's not that many of them anymore, and it's a little bit, a lot more complex than what it used to be. Yep. So we have a capacity optimization solution, and what this does is it allows you to project. So hey, I'm going to roll out, lightning deal, Amazon lightning deals. I wish you could predict some of these things. There was a stock, well, the stock market, the stock market crash. You guys, that happened, what, was it last week? I should know because my husband told me we took a pretty big hit on the retirement. Okay, did you know that during that point, there was so much traffic with some of these day traders that there were a couple of sites that couldn't handle
The volume.
The volume, and they actually crashed, and people are angry because they feel like they lost out on a lot of money.
They couldn't have sold in time, and it dropped another 2 cents. And,
exactly. Now that is hard to predict, but what you could have gone in and used a solution for is said, okay, if my volume, if something like that's going to happen, and we start to predict some of these stock movement, and I see my volume going up, can I support it? And we can use analytics with our capacity solution to not just understand, hey, you need more hardware, but processing power, or these are the different components within your system, and you can play with it. So we've got that end. So we've got the operation side, the capacity side, but then you've got to take it to the next level. So what is that next level? We talked about performance. We talked recently, so here at Engage, we just launched a new solution, and it's something we call TrueSight Pulse. And Bob Beecham mentioned it in the keynote this morning, and what he talked about was it has this ability to monitor at an every second interval. So our chief architect, Bill Platt, says the second is the new minute, right? And what that means is patience is thin. That's basically
non-existent.
Yes, patience is
what
thin.
is patience?
Exactly. I mean, look at my kids and their expectations. So if I go to the shopping app and it doesn't respond, it takes 15 seconds or 15 seconds.
Oh, that's a long time.
No, you're going to go somewhere else. You're not going to stay.
You're done.
And you're going to click refresh 4 times.
Amazon Lightning deal, you're going to be mad
just
because you didn't get the deal.
Yeah.
So it's really important now to monitor at that second level interval. So there's that M word again. But what's funny is the M word, the monitoring has actually changed. And now monitoring is very critical, but at this crazy fast level, so you can start to pick this apart. So we've introduced this SaaS solution very fast to literally get it up and running and installed with data coming in about 60 seconds. Fabulous. It's got great integration with the cloud. We've launched that today. We've taken that's to help, again, with the digital service era. And then the last thing that's coming out officially, will GA in Q1 of next year, is taking all of the data. So now we've got your infrastructure solid, we're helping your performance, but with all this data coming in from all of these sites, how can we help you make sense of it? So what we're doing is we're taking the data, running analytics, and we're helping you discover trends. We're helping you project. And that's our new solution called TrueSight Intelligence, which comes out, like I said, at the beginning of next year. So exciting things.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting you mentioned Amazon because, certainly in the traditional IT organizations that I was involved in, you definitely had different organizations doing development and operations. And operations was the group that would be primarily working with tools such as yours. Now you've got 2 pizza teams. You've got little product teams. They're creating their own services. They own them from, when well done, these teams own them from soup to nuts.
Yes, they do.
You have developers, and then you have the operations, and they're all sitting around the same table eating from the same pizza, right? So are you seeing that these teams are starting to, also realize, hey, I still need, I need this monitoring? Are you seeing that this is a new kind of a customer profile for you? These product teams, and that they're looking for, how do I get that 60-second goodness, into my tight team.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting is the behavior's changed, right, too. So if you look at IT, they don't want that to happen. Shadow IT. But didn't they put a stat up there this morning that with 80% of all folks who were, one of the presidents said it, are running some form of shadow IT. In fact, are running some application that IT has not approved. In fact, IT themselves are running applications.
Yeah,
that
they're worse for
IT.
shadow IT.
No, I mean, I think that's the reality.
I'm just going to grab that.
Exactly.
That's really good.
So if you look at these developers, or DevOps, which is this new area, this new kind of function, they're so used to being hands-on. They're used to being self-sufficient and providing the support and providing, soup to nuts, the whole thing. So we're offering a choice. What you see is with movement into the SaaS market, for example, with this TrueSight Pulse, that's a great solution for the DevOps market who can quickly get their hands on something, and they can use it to do this form of monitoring they want for the development. What we're trying to do is help bridge the gap, though, back with central IT, because you don't want to lose sight of the data and analytics you're gathering in the dev side. And if you could combine that with everything else going in IT.
Sure.
So we're positioning both of them together, but yes, it's definitely a market for us.
Oh yeah, to be able to aggregate all, you do need to be able to aggregate it back all together and understand the whole estate,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Marty, it's been great talking to you this afternoon. You've given us a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, excellent.
So thanks for sparing us some time on what I know has been a very busy day for you.
No problem.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.